Today we're going to be looking at Anthony Richardson and the Colts tape. Things really didn't go their way against the Packers, and this offense just looks really funky. I couldn't tell you if it's the play calling or Anthony Richardson, but I have a feeling it's a little bit of both. Let's break it down and see why they struggled so much in just week number 2. All right, first play we'll look at from Anthony Richardson here. He'll snap the ball and you'll see where he's looking already. He's looking down here. He's got 3 guys running routes at the bottom of your screen here. You got one going upfield and you got this guy just trying to take Nixon, then you're going to see a Mitchell cut underneath, and then you're going to have a slight little under drag route, whatever you want to call it. And so Anthony Richardson's going to watch this one timeout. It's essentially a 2-read play. Michael Pittman Jr. is basically just going to stop here. His job is to run off this guy, and so you're just going to have this guy and this guy running underneath, and it goes 1 to 2, and you're going to see Anthony Richardson lock up, fire it out. You have the leverage on a linebacker with a receiver. The speed to get outside is there, but Anthony Richardson cannot make that throw. You'll see him step back, throw it, and it's just a miss. And I can see the argument for the Mitchell misses this, like it's his fault because he doesn't get his eyes around early enough. So I do see where, if people were to say that, but in my opinion, the ball is, here. Adonai's looking. I don't know if this is like a tracking issue. The ball obviously there could be some steam left off this ball. Anthony Richardson basically just throws it as hard as he can, and it just flies across Adonai Mitchell's face. And so maybe some steam off that ball would help, but it still just flies right past. And so I'll call it a miss depending on whose fault it is. I'm not really sure. Here on this next play, Anthony Richardson joined in the backfield by Jonathan Taylor, who will have a chance to either run the ball, or Anthony Richardson can pick this one up and decide to throw it to Ashton Doolin. The read guy on this play is essentially Nixon, which is that man right there. So while he's pretending to hand this ball off in the back there, you're going to see Nixon. He's going to slowly inch down, and Anthony Richardson has eyes on him, and you'll see that right here as he's making the handoff. He sees this commitment here, so he's going to replace that with Ashton Doolin, who's going to be on a quick little sit down right behind it. So you'll see Nixon pulls in, and you're going to have Ashton Doolin, not quite that high in depth. He's going to sit down behind it. Anthony Richardson, seeing all this, reacting to it in real time, gets it out and had space after the catch, and will try to make the best of it. Ashton Doolin gets up and gets a few extra yards. Now we're getting to a little bit more of a tricky play. We'll play this one through for you guys and see which one we're going at. Oh, it's IanmAnalysis right to the safety. So you're going to have a really deep post here, then you're going to have a really deep dig here, and watch just the way that this plays out. And I'll slow down and pause it here and there. You'll see right there, you'll see Alec Pierce trying to make his break, and you're going to see him trying to work upfield. Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, both trying to collaborate, and you have 3 defenders still. You don't have numbers. McKinney's actually coming down, and Michael Pittman Jr., you'll see Anthony Richardson balls out, McKinney reacting to it, and Alec Pierce coming out of his break. You got this guy trailing, and it ends up just being way too far out. You're going to see where this ball is. It's right here. This is the ball. This is Alec Pierce. This one's just going to sail right into Xavier McKinney's arms and totally miss his receiver underneath. So you're going to see Michael Pittman Jr. He looks open, but McKinney probably would have covered that. It's just open right now, but it wasn't really open. And yeah, it just falls into the hands of Xavier McKinney. I don't really know what to tell you. Anthony Richardson just straight up sees it, reads it, and airmails quite essentially. He's targeting the dig, which is Alec Pierce's route. You're going to see him flatten out and try to come down, and I guarantee you the safety over top, Xavier McKinney, got paid big money from the Packers, would see this, and even if it was going to be targeting Alec Pierce, I bet Xavier McKinney still affects this play no matter what. So just a heave downfield, and then the next thing we'll examine is going to be the feet of Anthony Richardson to see if he was quite dialed up on this play. You're going to have pressure from Quay. McDuffie's playing a little bit low, and so what does Anthony Richardson do? He's got time. They're worried about the inside pressure. Everybody's looping around trying to get in, make a play, and so Anthony Richardson sees these guys kind of howling down in his face, and his feet are a little off. Not crazy, and we've seen throws like this from quarterbacks before, and they land, but this time it just didn't. And again, airmail straight to Xavier McKinney. for the interception. On this next play, you're basically just going to see a numbers game between the Colts and the Packers. Anthony Richardson loading this ball up right now, and let's take a little look. See, they've got one defender, they got two defenders, but they have three guys running routes. It's JT, Michael Pittman Jr., and Kylan Granson. And so what are you doing? You're just kind of reading. This guy starting to leverage out. I don't know what he's quite doing, but Anthony Richardson pumps and gets a little bit more distance between these two guys right here, and that's just gonna create, I mean, this guy basically reads it wrong, but it's just gonna create space, and Michael Pittman Jr. underneath almost bobbles and drops that one actually, but we'll rewind it and take a little look. You have three receivers in the vicinity, only two defenders trying to cover, and that leaves this guy with a choice. Does he go underneath or does he pursue forward? Ends up biting on the check down, and Anthony Richardson gets back to Michael Pittman Jr. for a little gain, but it's still a decent read. You're playing a numbers game, like I said, and I mean, it worked. Packers showing a blitz look early in the down, and they do end up bringing pressure, but Anthony Richardson, I mean, look at how this front looks right here, and look at how much separation there is still between the quarterback and the line, despite there being all this pass rush. And we'll actually back it up to the start of this. Anthony Richardson steps back. He knows where he's going. His eyes, I think, are just trying to hold this guy, but he has Adonai Mitchell on a little bit of a hitch route underneath, and you'll just see him waiting it out, waiting for the timing, and then we'll see when the ball comes up. It's basically right there. So the ball up from Anthony Richardson. The break is happening, so it's not like crazy anticipation, but it is still good timing per se. And you're just gonna have Anthony Richardson firing it out to Adonai Mitchell, who drops it. So you're gonna have five. You're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're just gonna try to isolate all your offensive linemen. They all do a tremendous job getting their guy. It's gonna give your second year, but essentially rookie quarterback, some extra time in there. Van Ness gets in there late, but it was already coming out of his hands. There's nothing you could do. And talk about coming out of your hands, Adonai Mitchell, yeah, dropped that one, came right out of his hands. That's not good. After a little bit of some good, we're gonna look at some negative from Anthony Richardson. You're gonna have a little bit of a pass concept with this play, and you're gonna see this kind of develop with Adonai Mitchell underneath, and then carrying up the seam is Alec Pierce, and you're just gonna have a little bit of a sit down from Jonathan Taylor underneath. And watch this kind of result and play out. You're gonna have Adonai making his break. You got two defenders playing the lower zones, and then that's going to leave Alec Pierce coming up, with this guy being the nearest defender in the range. I mean, he's just faded too far this way, and you got single high Javon Bullard playing just really high, obviously. So you're going to have Alec Pierce breaking open and peeling as this pass concept works, and you're going to get the defender to bite, and you're going to get this guy to follow. He's not going to be getting depth, and so you have the seam from Alec Pierce. You're just going to see him wiggle up the seam, and Anthony Richardson looking up the seam, it looks like. I mean, if you're watching and looking at his eyes right here, it looks like he has eyes on the safety, and you do see Javon Bullard starting to break. I mean, we all know the arm Anthony Richardson has. He can hit this. I don't care. He can most definitely hit this, and he has Jonathan Taylor wide open. In case this play was kind of more of a bust, I don't know. His eyes tell me he should be hitting Alec Pierce here, because that is the pass concept. You have this guy absorbing underneath help, and that worked. So that got Alec Pierce open over the top. If it was vice versa, he got depth to cover this seam, then you'd have Adonai Mitchell wide open with this guy playing too high. So it's a pass concept. It works, and he just refuses to throw it after what looks like having his eyes on it, and instead takes a sack. Maybe a lack of confidence. Maybe he saw it too late. It's interesting to me why he doesn't throw this ball. I don't know if he's trusting himself all that much. It looks like he was about to load up and fire. I don't know if you guys quite saw that or caught that, but watch right there. He just kind of hesitated just very slightly and then gets sacked. Back to a little bit more of a strength for Anthony Richardson, and something I'd like to see included in this offense a little bit more. You're gonna have Jonathan Taylor on a little bit of a read play again, and you're going to see linebackers start to fade down underneath. We'll back it up and restart it and start from the top here. And once you see Rashawn Gary here, there is no reason for McDuffie to collapse underneath. I'm not going to lie, McDuffie definitely sold here, but he's going to see some of the action here from the blockers. They're going to be moving in the backfield, trying to get some jump set blocks, get into defenders. So that's going to make McDuffie come down underneath. Alec Pierce, I think, is just going to fill that gap. And you're going to see a quick little sidearm skirt right there into to Alec Pierce, and it's all because of that run. It kind of freezes and brings McDuffie down towards the line. Alec Pierce gets it, and you'll see the nice sidearm angle that I'm talking about. He's going to go ahead, snap the ball, read the linebacker, and sling it out to Alec Pierce. And like I said, something I'd like to see more on the offense. Oh, this next one is fun. Evan Williams going to be crashing down, Valentine opposite, because you have a little two-man thing going on here. You're going to have vertical, and then you're going to have like a half vertical thing. It's really confusing, but you'll see it play out. Just watch these two receivers at the bottom of your screen. You're going to see like a little bit of a off-sequence weeble wobble thing going on, where when Alec Pierce is bringing 24 upfield, Evan Williams is going to struggle to get outside, so he's going to commit into the route, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So Adonai Mitchell trying to sell this out, and so kind of Evan Williams sells out, and then you're going to see Adonai Mitchell turn upfield and work behind Alec Pierce, who's already carving upfield. So what you have here is outside from 24. He's playing upfield with Alec Pierce, leaving one-on-one 33 on Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell's going to be shooting up the field off sequence, like I said, and Anthony Richardson drops a dime. Now just admire the beauty of this happening in real time. You're going to have a little bit of a reactionary throw, and it works, and it's just beautiful. Anthony Richardson takes the snap, drop, hitch, and let this ball go with ease right there on the money. Adonai didn't drop it this time. We all know Anthony Richardson is a big play hunter, so we'll play this one out in full time. It's a little heave up to Michael Pittman Jr. Didn't come down with it. But if you notice on this play, you'll see Kylan Granson get a little bit roughed up, and you'll see him kind of stumble right here. But look at this right here. This is so much cushion. 24 already playing upfield, playing this very well with safety help over top. What does Anthony Richardson do? He says, I don't give a bleep, and he's gonna throw it to this guy down here despite the two guys in coverage. When you have a vertical route, everything like that, he's loading up, the safety's looking at him, he's got eyes on him, so he's gonna fade this way. Anthony Richardson pumps here and then throws the seam, because that to me looks open. Kylan Granson right here, again, Anthony Richardson has the arm to make this passing lane work to Kylan Granson, right? We all know that. We've all seen it before. So when you're looking at it, you're going to be like, okay, with a little bit more patience, Kylan Granson's probably your guy. This man right here, probably the read that you need to make. But Richardson loses patience and just tosses it up to Michael Pittman Jr. down to into coverage, I guess would be the best way to say it. Probably the most concerning thing is this play right here. Anthony Richardson's going to have a little bit of a levels concept where you're going to see Adonai Mitchell fall underneath and then Michael Pittman Jr. go over top. What happens here? Basically, you're trying to carry Eric Wilson out of the play with the high man in Michael Pittman Jr. So essentially, this play revolves around Eric Wilson, number 45. If he stays low, disciplined in his zone, that's great. Then you can take Michael Pittman Jr. on the overtop dig. But instead, Eric Wilson gets depth with Michael Pittman Jr.'s dig, and that's going to open up Adonai Mitchell's dig. It's a whole bunch here. It's a whole bunch happening. This basically falls wide open. Adonai Mitchell wide open on this play. We're going to throw it to Michael Pittman Jr., who not open, and he has Eric Wilson inside leverage on him. Like, not good. And Eric Wilson does a great job keeping eyes, and so if he were to throw it over here, this needs to be like a back shoulder, like out and away sort of throw for Adonai Mitchell. So it's just good coverage, but once this ball's in the air, Eric Wilson, no way he's not getting that one. Interception right over the middle. He fails to read the pass concept. Anthony Richardson basically just couldn't read it, read it wrong, threw an interception. So that last play, obviously not anything crazy, but this play, this is something else. Out of the snap, Anthony Richardson's going to step back. He's got this route working, he's got this route getting upfield, and then he's also going to have this route working as time goes on. Now, watch Anthony Richardson, and when he throws it, and arm is up and ready to throw. He is getting ready to release that thing. And who to? It's going to be this guy right here, Alec Pierce on Jair Alexander. Alexander playing with a little bit of upfield leverage. Alec Pierce, unanimous deep threat. Everyone knows that. And so he's going to be working underneath, has that seam right there. And these two guys right here, these two, they're fooled by the shallow cross. I mean, why wouldn't Anthony Richardson throw that? Because he wants the big play. And like I said, watch that arm. It's already up. This is anticipatory stuff and a flash. Look at that. That is crazy to me. And we'll see if we can get it here in the second angle on how this play really goes. because you're going to have Anthony Richardson looking, and this right here underneath is going to stop Quay Walker. It's going to stop Quay Walker from coming down, and then it's going to open up an opportunity down the field for a little bit of a dig route, and finds it in between, you know, Nixon, Quay, and Jair Alexander. It's beautiful. It's a flash of brilliance. We talk about dual threat quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson being one of them. He's rating this side of the field, which I think is just two simple hitches. I don't like how is this Ty Goodson underneath? But yeah, you have these two with that leverage. This guy, like, he doesn't have it. And so what is he going to do? He's not going to progress through or anything. He's just going to keep waiting on it until he finally is like, all right, abort mission, I'm going out. And so when he starts to roll, that brings him down immediately. That brings his attention towards the running ability. Ashton Doolin wide open. Alec Pierce wide open. Safety needs to make a decision and needs to close fast. Anthony Richardson then pumps it and then throws it to Alec Pierce before that safety can crash in. Xavier McKinney tries the best he can to get there. It's up. Oh, he slips and falls out of the throw. Again, the threat of his legs brings defenders down to make stuff after he escapes. There's no pocket. I guess there is a pocket, but there's no rush lane integrity. You're going to see guys get out of the way, and Anthony Richardson's going to have a straight alleyway to get up and out of this pocket, something that they were definitely game planning against. You saw Devontae Wyatt leave his feet and get up. Not great. And so when he gets outside, again, it brings defenders down. It makes their attention switch, and he wants it all. He's not going for Ashton Doolin, who's wide open. He's going to be going for Alec Pierce, who trips and falls. All right, what I want you to watch here is this guy right here, Ashton Doolin. You would assume that he's not even a part of this progression when you just watch him run that route. You see that? He just runs from here and kind of dilly-dallies into the spot he's in now. It's kind of crazy, the lack of urgency there, right? So let's watch it in full and see what happens. Anthony Richardson is actually going to throw it in his direction. He's not expecting it. Again, wouldn't even think he's a part of this progression. You'll see Ashton Doolin right here, the side of your screen, barely see him. And Ashton Doolin going to be running up. Anthony Richardson trying to throw in this little window up here, and he's going to have Ashton Doolin just easing inside, late eyes, and it's just way over. Like, it's just, it's hard to explain because half of this is the receiver's fault, but when you're trying to throw it in gaps, especially something like this, it needs to be like right there in rhythm. But the receiver can do better, give him better eyes once he clears this defender. So I'm not blaming this on Anthony Richardson. I mean, Ashton Doolin still just looking upfield. You see Pittman actually has his eyes around. You're going to see he has his eyes around. And of course, you have the check down if you want it, but we know Anthony Richardson, he's not going to want the check down. He's going to want Ashton Doolin in a tight window. Does a bad job, quite honestly, getting his eyes around, so he gets him up late, and so he can't adjust this football, which is thrown behind him. So it's tough. Again, there is blame on, I guess, both parties in that situation. Again, we know how athletic Anthony Richardson is. He's going to be reading this right side. He's going to get a bite here with that pump fake, but it's covered. I mean, they have that. Again, he just needs to click off of this maybe a little bit earlier, especially pre-snap reading the coverage. Is you're like, okay, if Isaiah McDuffie drops or whatever the situation is, I'd like to see him switch off a little bit sooner, but Anthony Richardson just needs to just ditch this. And then if he wants, hey, you have a wide open check down with space. These are the two closest defenders to him. And so, hey, maybe you want to dump it down there. No, I'm going to pump one more time. I'm going to reverse field. I'm going to outrun everybody that's going to be chasing me. And so he's going to try to outrun, get outside, and then get upfield, find Alec Pierce on a little bit of improv. And we'll stop it right here where Anthony Richardson's going to try to make his way out. You're going to see Alec Pierce like loop back in. It's going to trick the crap out of, I believe that's Carrington Valentine, but you're going to see Alec Pierce is going to like try to trick him and be like, I'm going upfield, and then he's going to stop. So he's going to have all this leverage like upfield, and then you're going to see the corner kind of stumble, and then Alec Pierce is just going to drop down, make himself available for his quarterback who's rolling in that direction. So it just ends up working out well for everybody, and they do get a gain. Another not so great play by Anthony Richardson. Let's do a little bit of charting real quick. You have one, you have two, you have three receivers on one side, you have one on the other, and he's playing with outside leverage. That does matter on this play. You're gonna have Adonai Mitchell play up. This is outside leverage. The corner is playing with the good leverage for the route Adonai is watching. So first guy we're going to watch is Adonai Mitchell from the left side. He's going to be coming up field, and you'll see him take this little out route towards the leverage of the corner. So let's watch Anthony Richardson's eyes. So when you have three receivers on one side of the field and pressure coming down from there. This guy, this fatty, is going to try to, buzz out into that situation. Anthony Richardson's going to keep his eyes on his one receiver playing with outside leverage on an outside breaking route. It's not stupid, but look at how much he's staring it down. Anthony Richardson has not taken his eyes off of Adonai Mitchell, and he's going to keep that going. He's going to keep that going, and finally progresses to Alec Pierce. But what do you see on the backside of this play? I see a wide open Michael Pittman Jr., and then Anthony Richardson, being a freak, can still make a play and make it look good. Anthony Richardson looking right at this nickel defender as he's looking forward. So you're not going to see this guy looking back at him or showing any signs of blitz. So watch what happens here. You're going to have a nickel blitz coming down, and then you're going to have, I think, a buzz out, and then this 3-by-1, and he's watching the one. It's still so confusing to me, but watch at the top of the screen, Kylan Granson, Alec Pierce, but you're going to have Michael Pittman Jr. underneath. These guys basically just getting depth, trying to get loose, and then Michael Pittman Jr. cutting underneath when this guy's playing flat, no check down, nothing. I mean, sure, you can watch the running back if he comes out, cover it, whatever. This needs to be the throw. Work to your backside. I don't know why he's not reading this first, why he's reading the side with one receiver playing outside leverage instead of the 3 receivers with a blitz. Like, it just confuses me through and through, but yeah, you're just going to see this be missed. And I don't know. It's tough because he still makes the play, obviously, right? He still plays hero and he still makes the play. He's a freak. He's awesome. He has the quickness to get out of it. They bring a lot of pressure. The offensive line deals with it great, and he gets upfield. He gets the first down. But watching the tape, and this is why you watch the tape, you're missing this. I mean, right as I don't know, maybe you should know this guy's blitzing, maybe not, but once you see this guy buzzing out, which I don't know, I mean, he has his eyes right here on Adonai Mitchell. So once you know what he missed, obviously you're going to say, hey, look at the right side here, progress to the backside read when you know it's an outbreaking route with an outside corner with outside leverage. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then yeah, progressing back, he doesn't even get all the way backside to Michael Pittman Jr. and decides to, again, play superhero and run for the first. A big emphasis of Jeff Hafley, the Packers defensive coordinator, was to be aggressive. So he's going to tell these boys, hey, pin your ears back, get wide, play aggressive on this play. And we're going to have Quay Walker. He's going to be the quarterback spy. He's going to make sure he has eyes on Anthony Richardson. He's going to get a little bit of depth. And if he even blinks and comes up, he's going to be there. Quay Walker is going to try to pursue this. So what happens? Everyone's just playing wide, getting in, just trying to play aggressive. People are trying to get in to disrupt Anthony Richardson while you still have Quay Walker playing a little bit low. So Quay Walker and the defense knows Quay is the spy. Quay is the guy that's going to cover this space underneath because they lose the rush lane integrity. So you're going to see how much open space Anthony Richardson has. This guy a little bit frozen as he rolls that way. He's going to start crashing down despite Quay Walker's responsibility being what this guy's trying to do. This guy's trying to crash down, prevent Anthony Richardson from rushing for a touchdown. And so he's going to leave Alec Pierce just wide open, scot-free, because he crashed down for a second to try to do what Quay Walker's job is. Let Quay Walker fail if he's going to fail. He's a very athletic linebacker. I have faith in him that he can get to Anthony Richardson. Obviously, Keyshawn Nixon didn't, crash down and left the wide open back to the pylon. Alec Pierce, easy tud, and then does a little Lambo leap, to add insult to injury. But oh my God, bad defense being played. And Anthony Richardson, props to him, progressed back to his backside reads, gets there, maybe stalled out for a little bit, but you have this guy howling down at you and sees the wide open, laxed coverage in the back of the end zone. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the breakdown in the comments below. And if you guys did like the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and subscribe, go watch the past content on the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.